I've two stories tonight, this afternoon, two short stories. The first one is called The Bad Man. Hit me, Jack. The barman, whose name is Stephen, doesn't look too happy about this. He thinks I've had enough already. He doesn't much care for me, you see, and he'd like me to leave before there's any trouble. But you don't understand, Jack. There won't be any trouble. I'm only drinking. I call every barman Jack. I've been drinking since before you was born, lad. He hits me and pours another gin. And leave the bottle, would you? Now he's something of a problem. If he says no, he'll have to serve me one drink at a time till I fall off the stool, and he'd rather I was gone. But if he leaves the bottle, I might drink it. Then he'll have to come back when I'm full of booze. My money's on the bar, so he knows I can afford it, but I might get rowdy. I might be a mean drunk, a really mean drunk. I might have knocked my old dear about. I'll probably look the sort. Get tanked up, knock her about, and then come down here, looking for younger fellows to knock me back like she never will, until the day she finally cracks and pushes me down the stairs, and the cops turn up, and they'll see those black eyes and those bruises, and they'll all agree it's death by misadventure, and that's that. She'll move to Crystal Palace and start it all over again with a swell guy, with a straight job selling vacuum cleaners, and he never drinks except for weekends. But that won't happen. I don't have an old lady. If I haven't an old lady, then how could I knock her about? And what the hell business has he got thinking otherwise? I better set him straight. Jack's down the other end of the public bar, bouncing pennies into a pint pot. Oi, Jack! Jack! I don't have an old lady. You what? I haven't an old lady, so how could I knock her about? What are you on about, chum? My old lady, and you've got no goddamn business thinking otherwise. All right, mate, that's it, you've had enough. Give me back the bottle. Oi, give it, Frank, Danny, help! Someone grabs my head, bounces off the bar. I drop and knock a chair about, and they take away my gin. They kick me in the teeth. I don't mind, it was cheap gin. I'm bleeding, but it's not too bad. Two fellows haul me up and push me out the door, and I have to hold on to the lamppost spinning, else my feet will float away. There's drizzle in the gaslight. I'm rather drunk. In fact, I'm blotto. But that's the way it has to be, chum. I've blood on my hands. I've something inside. Rain. Rain starts to freshen me up. I lie on my back somewhere in the gutter, and I drink it in. Heard tell there's a brothel round here. Girls. And it's been ever such a long time. I've been ever so lonely. They pretend to be sweet, but they bring out the worst in me, you see. Each and every one of them worth 10 more years in Wormwood Scrubs. Detained at His Majesty's pleasure. Suppose I found that out the hard way. Aggravated sexual assault. That's what they call it these days. But how was I to know? It was only my first time. It was the bad man. It was the bad man that did it. I've something rather dark inside me, you see. He likes to use me as a mask. And I can't let him out again, I can't. So I soak him up with gin. Mother's ruin, innit? Need another drink. I need another drink before I get sober. Before I'm picked up by the peelers and spend a night in the cells. Before I sober up come morning. Before I have to walk home. Past the brothel. Past those awful little girls. Before the bad man comes. I'm no trouble when I'm drunk, Jack. It's It's rather when I'm sober that there's a problem. Thank you. Thanks. And, right, that was The Bad Man. And this is my second story. It's called Gumbo. It's a slightly different sort of thing. Yes, it's coming out in Fractured West. Kirsty Logan, the editor, is in an amazing new magazine. It's extremely good. It's coming out on Tuesday the 20th, I think. It's very good. Look it out. It's very, very good indeed. Yeah, this is called Gumbo. I don't believe in voodoo. It would have been easy to fall for it, growing up like I did. All that Costa Rican claptrap, wasn't it? Caribbean trash in the wrong Louisiana town. But I'm naturally suspicious, see? I don't trust these things. It's the same in church. Whatever. You make a sign of a cross, but you can't believe it. You can't believe it. Be careful what you give your faith to. Sitting out on the steps with all the local kids, there's Mama John's. Her tarot cards all greasy, the necklace of chicken feet, candles and rice, dice and dolls, rolling eyes bright white on black and bass drum laughter in her big pink skirt. It's theatre. Tricks and traditions, that's all it is. No more of that for me. They always told us to stay away from Garfield, so we went round the crossroads whenever we could. The crazy old man, his trombone and his bowler hat. Gumbo on the stove because he don't have any teeth. Never changes, just tops up the pot with shrimp and soft-shelled crab. We threw rocks on his tin roof. We listened for the gunshots. Dirty dogs, says Garfield. Rotten dogs. We laughed in the dark and left. It's a long time now since Garfield was the preacher. He caught Joe Dunn doing things he shouldn't have been doing with some girl from the city. But they couldn't make him marry, because he was real dumb, he was real simple. He didn't know anything. So Garfield got the boys together. They got a hold of Joe Dunn, and they beat him. Really bad. They left him at the crossroads by the fence, the picket all blistered and bleached, cracked open in the sun. They left him there for lizards. Joe Dunn died there in the dust, and he never knew why, or why not, or any other goddamn thing at all. And then Mama John showed up. She didn't say nothing, just turned up on the Greyhound 3 days after the goannas had been at Joe. She dragged him away, and the story goes that she buried him up in Bumble Rocks. And then when she came back, Mama John's, she didn't laugh like a bass drum or roll her eyes anymore. She chews on a cigar, sits down in the dust outside Old Man Garfield's house, rolls a few dice, draws shapes in the sand. She spits. And I guess she likes what she sees, because then she just ups and walks away her own self again, smiling fit to split. Nowadays, Garfield just skulks and sulks in bars on the edge of town, or round at Marcello's caravan, drinking cheap sour mash and cursing through the last of his broken teeth, leering at Marcello's daughter till Marcello tells him, hey man, you better go home now. And it's back to the tin shack, and the rocks on the roof, and the midnight laughing dark. They say the girl from the city gave birth to a goanna. They say that when she lay still and bloody, not moving, the serpent scuttled out the door, and the midwife screamed. And now there's always a goanna at the crossroads. He lives under Garfield's house. I don't believe in voodoo, but I know plenty of other folk that does. Thank you.